situation only demonstrates why I personally prefer for sports broadcasts, especially football broadcasts, to be handled mostly by men. Lindsay, though worse than the average, even as far as female sports reporters go, is definitely not the only female to enter into this mostly male space and seek to feminize it. She wants the football stadium to be quiet and gentle, considerate, respectful of personal space. She wants it to be a more feminine environment. She's not trying to assimilate herself into the culture of football fans. She is rather hoping that they assimilate themselves to her. This is a problem across our culture. Sports just happen to be an area where the problem is especially pronounced and obvious. Females enter into areas that have typically catered and mostly belonged to men. And then, often quite successfully, they try to change them, to emasculate them, and thereby destroy the primary reason for their existence in the first place. This phenomenon is so far-reaching in football especially that they're even changing the rules now to make the game itself more gentle and feminine. Football is, still violent, but it's less violent than it used to be. This year, they're even focusing on penalizing players who say mean or rude things to each other on the football field. They've been doing this during the preseason in the NFL. All of this, along with the token female sideline reporters and the female analysts at halftime, it's an effort to make the game less appealing to the people the game was invented for to begin with.
Okay, so we're gonna dive into this. If you're on the podcast or if you're watching, you're not familiar with that person. It's Matt Walsh. Just think they took an Abraham Lincoln beard and they super glued it to the face of a clone of Ben Shapiro. It's basically the same exact thing. I think he would probably agree that's what he is. But anyway, he was responding to a video posted by WTOC 11's sports reporter and director Lindsay Go, who said she was touched inappropriately by fans at a Georgia-Clemson game. So the concern there is not about politeness, it's about sexual assault. And he has two sides. He could defend the woman who sexually assaulted or the guys who did it, and he has chosen. So anyway, she tweeted, got all kinds of violated during my first live hit by fans. After the first guy touched me, I started rolling. This isn't even all of it, so uncomfortable. Can we please respect people's space? Well, let's go to a bit of the video that this reporter posted on Twitter.
Hello.
Please don't touch me.
Cool. So JR, I have thoughts, but what do you think? As a big fan of sports, what do you make of the argument that pundit made?
Matt, Matty there. Well, this is the thing. It's whenever you think it's one of those moments when you think you're representing the culture, the male culture, and you're actually providing a whole bunch of like damning opinions about what you think male-dominated arenas are supposed to be. So we don't give a damn about your personal space, politeness, touching, all that stuff we just don't care about in men's personal spaces. But guarantee you let some guy that you don't know or that you don't like walk up behind you and grab you around your waist, hug you or something, yell in your ear. Do you think these male-dominated areas are gonna go, hey, good job, guy? Hey, if Georgia is playing, is playing any other rival in their conference, and then someone from the other side is a fan who runs up and goes, yeah, dogs suck, y'all suck, and scream in your face, I guarantee you a fight's gonna break out. If they run up behind you and grab you by your jersey and pull on you, I guarantee you a fight's gonna break out. We've seen these fights break out at NFL games just in the preseason all the time now, where people, because someone threw a beer, someone was yelling at someone else, someone's girlfriend was yelling in this other guy's face, and a fight breaks out. Man, it's weird how these men in these male-dominated arenas where women aren't allowed for some reason have these emotions when someone does something in their personal space and invades them or screams about their team. These fights break out all the time, but somehow women are feminizing this area. They're emasculating us. They don't belong here. Really? Is that how? Is that? Are you sure? Because you keep talking about we don't care about it, but it happens every time.
You're totally right. Like, he gives a pass to guys freaking out when someone touches them, but a reporter trying to do her job, just noting on Twitter that people were doing this, she's wrong. She's trying to change the sport or whatever. You're totally right there. Yeah, I also, look, the concern is that they're trying to emasculate. The idea being there, you have this thing that's masculine and they're trying to bring it down in some way. I wouldn't be that worried about that, dude. You're like losing your S because a woman is reporting on sports. How much lower do you think you have to go? Like, you're worried about this lofty alpha position of yours being torn apart. Your worldview is shattering around you because a woman reported on sports, which, by the way, isn't new, okay? It's just so pathetic. Like, I don't care about him. I'm gonna go back to not even remembering that he exists after we finish this story. But I am worried about what he is paid to do, and what he is paid to do, and he's hardly the only one, is there are a lot of young men who have these dark emotions. They are driven by jealousy and entitlement and racism and misogyny, and they're mad about things and they're jealous about things, and they can potentially be saved. Many will be, many could be. But people like Matt Walsh are paid to try to appeal to those men and tell them, you should not change, you should not learn, you should not open your mind, you should not expand your boundaries, you should not consider other points of view, you should never go to therapy, you should never evolve or change or question the things that just pop up inside of you. No, because those are the best things about you. The ways that you think about women, the ways that you think about anyone who's not white, that's the best part of you and you should never change. Your weaknesses, that's strength, baby. Never question it, never evolve. That is what Matt Walsh is there to do. And Tucker Carlson and maybe Ben Shapiro, I don't really watch him that much, honestly. That is what they do. And I don't have a solution. We talk about this every once in a while. This idea of masculine strength being as weak as possible, just be weak, be really mad. Have a personality where the only thing you do is you go online and complain that a woman was cast in a movie or something, or they made a movie about a guy that's Asian. Like, that should be your personality, that you freak out about those things. And yeah, what do you know? Some people find that appealing because being told that your weakness, that you don't need to evolve past it, well, that's a lot easier, I guess, than actually becoming a better person. So yes, there's always gonna be an appetite for that. There's always gonna be an audience for that. Ugh, it's just pathetic though. And again, he's just being paid to do this. It doesn't matter. But the people who might be reached by the fact that corporations like his get handed millions of dollars by right-wing billionaires to do free advertising for them, it's gonna reach some people, and I'm worried about those people.
Yeah, those people are the ones that's who they're influencing. They're creating these groups of people that somehow buy into this type of thought process. So these spaces, as he also pointed out, the game was invented to be given to men to enjoy, to play and to watch. So does that extend to them believing there shouldn't be women's sports? I mean, because last I heard, people that agree with his points of view on women's sports like to think that only the women that they think are women are allowed to participate in those sports. So why are you concerned about women's sports, bro? Women's sports isn't for you. It's not in your arena. Women's sports is separate from your male sports arena, which apparently is only supposed to be for you and other guys. How about women's sports? Why are you getting involved with transgender women getting into women's sports? Hey, get out of it, bro. Why are you trying to emasculate their femininity? Like, it can be flipped in so many different ways to say you can just shut up and stay out of the conversation. Oh, I have an idea. Maybe Lindsay Go, who's this reporter here, maybe to make sure that she fits in with the men's side of this sports, is maybe have other women show up there with her. Ones who are trained in punching people in the face in the right spot to knock them out. Hey, have a crew of women, make them very masculine, and have them punch you in the face. Is that a masculine thing to do? Women punch you in the face? If that happened, guarantee they'd have another problem. Look at these women trying to be like men. It's a continuous cycle of, because they apparently they accept when other men punch each other at sporting events.
Yeah.
But if you have women show up and do it, I don't know. Maybe they're just assimilating. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. And like I said, I don't know. I don't know the solution, but I know that young men in America are being failed. Their role models are absolute hot garbage, and something needs to be done. Anyway, we are running.
By the way, don't go punching people at games. I was just joking.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Although there have been a lot of requests in the chat for Emma to punch this guy in the face because she likes football, obviously. Yeah, what do we think? 1 round knockout.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.